Yeah.
Okay, so the next question is tips for success with hardening off. I honestly think this is half the reason. Every year that I've failed with, so I set up like a top level, the first year we bought this house, in our pantry, during this time of year, the first couple of years I tried this, I took all the cans and all the storage, I took everything out of the pantry, put it in the garage, and I made one of the shelves in the pantry this like closed off tin foil grow up deal for transplants, and everything grew really fast and really well because it was just right that the heat of the lights warmed the thing. It was just like,
Right.
somewhere, it was like Florida in there all day, right? And then I put the plants outside and I forgot about them one day and they all died. So hardening off, I think, is the critical stage for a lot, especially new gardeners, but even people that like me that are a bit absent-minded and easily distracted. Yeah, how about some strategies for, how about first, this is for the new gardener, explaining what hardening off is, and then how to do it without screwing up and ruining all your transplants.
Yeah, because I've been there too. Like the first year I grew seedlings, I think I was like 15 or 14, and I had like 10 seedling trays. I knew nothing, right? And then we had one beautiful day in April, and I took all my leggy little seedlings and put them outside in full sun, just feeling like I had done the most beautiful thing ever, and they all died, right?
Yes.
So that was I've been there. So hardening off is basically acclimatizing indoor grown seedlings, whether they're grown in a sunny window, whether they're grown under grow lights, to the outside growing conditions. Basically, seedlings, when they're grown inside, don't develop as thick a cuticle around the leaves, that waxy coating that protects them. And so when you put them out in direct sun, it can fry them because they don't have that cuticle coating. So hardening off helps them develop that. It helps the stems kind of sturdy up and the leaves, just get a little stronger, and just be able to take the wind, the rain, the sun, everything that Mother Nature is going to throw at them when they get outside. So that's what hardening off is. You cannot skip this step. I've never skipped this step and had my seedlings live. But it's not hard to do. It takes 5 days. So for me, the easiest way to do it is, if you have a shady spot, or you can create shade, a little hoop tunnel in the garden with a piece of shade cloth over top, and pop, I take them right from under the grow lights in a mild day, pop them under that shade cloth, or, in a sunny part of your deck, under a table on your balcony or something. Put them under there in the full shade the first day. If it's going to be cold, bring them back inside. If it's mild, leave them out. The next day, I'll introduce them to a little bit of morning light, maybe like, from like 9 to 10 or 9 to 11, a little bit of morning light. And then they get shade the rest of the day. And if it's cold, I'll bring them back inside. If it's not, I'll leave them out.
What is shade cloth?
Shade cloth is a woven material, usually made from like plastics. Can be dark green, light green. It can be, black. There's different kinds and colors, and you can get. Some shade cloths block 10% of light, some block 50%, some block 90%. For garden applications, I recommend about a 30 to 40% shade cloth, which is the most common. And you can buy it by the roll at different garden centers or order a piece of it online. It's inexpensive and it lasts forever. It's the one garden cover I use that never wears out. So I do love my shade cloth. Yeah.
Okay.
So and then by day 3 a little more sunlight, by day 4 a little more sunlight, by day 5 they should be able to withstand a full day of sunlight and are ready to be transplanted into the garden.
Really? Just 5 days? Okay.
That's all it really takes. Yeah. I mean, some people go a week, but 5 days is enough as long as you're, relatively, increasing the light and being, quite vigilant about increasing the light a little bit every day.
I see. Okay. Well, that makes, so, that doesn't sound so overwhelming.
It's really not. And because I don't remember things either, I put reminders in my phone. Hey, Nikki, bring the seedlings in, or, hey, go cover them up. They've been in the sun for 2 hours now. It just takes like a minute to do that. And all those seedlings I've been growing for 8 or 10 weeks, I don't want them to die. So it's a little reminder to make sure I protect my seedlings.
That makes sense. And actually, I didn't have this question down, but I just thought of it right now because I'm trying to think through like everything that's ever gone wrong.
I've made a lot of mistakes.
Yes. So sometimes you got the seedling. This almost never happens with the ones you buy, almost. But the ones you start yourself, this does happen. You got your nice transplant. You've hardened it off. So, you've been with this thing for a month or two, and you take it out of the thing and all the soil falls away. So how does one go about avoiding that scenario?
You mean basically it didn't have a good root system?
Yeah, like it, I don't know if it's the soil doesn't clump together, or the roots just didn't knit all that soil together properly. But
Right.
you give it a little tap, you give it a little squeeze, you lift the thing up, and you just see all the soil either
Oh, we've
stay
been
in the
there.
thing or
Yeah.
So
So
what's that
first,
person doing
yeah.
wrong?
Well, first of all, never pull a plant out of a pot.
Right.
You know, you always, whether it's a cell pack or a pot, put it on its side, use a nail or a screwdriver or something in the hole in the bottom and gently ease it out. Because I have pulled plants out and broken them. I do it every year and I kick myself, right? So don't do that. You know, if you must, you could put like a, like a plastic garden tag or something like that into the pot and try to pop it out if you have to.
Oh, like
But
a spatula.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
just don't pull it out. Don't pull it out. So that's one. Two, if it doesn't have a good strong root system, it's either still too young, maybe, or perhaps it's been kept very wet and the root system didn't develop. Maybe it had a little root rot. Or maybe,
or it didn't have to develop because there was so much water. I see.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe, sometimes there's some cheaper potting mixes I've used before, which produce disappointing results. So, I mean, potting mix is something I spend money on for a high quality growing medium. And then I fertilize probably, every 3 weeks my seedlings with a half strength fertilizer, like a fish type fertilizer. And that works really well. So that's helping encourage a healthy root system.
Okay, that was one of our questions. So I'll ask you more about that.
It's just intertwined with this answer. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay, perfect.